Hello, this tutorial I'm putting together is just to get people who have been trying to get their wheel with force feedback to and some separate pedals. In this case, an example I use is a Moza wheel and a Fanatec pedals. And I understand some people have been having some issues trying to get them to work together because the game doesn't accept more than one input. So, in order to get the game to cooperate with you, you're gonna actually need two programs in order to get it to work. One of them is going to be VJoy, which I will put a link in the description for that, and the other one is going to be SimHub. Other people can use. I've seen people use UCR, which is Universal Control Remapper. There's a GitHub for that. But in this case, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be using SimHub. So first things first, before you do anything with SimHub, you need to set up your VJoy. Once you download it, it should um, install a program, and then you're going to have a couple of different things when you have VJoy. It's going to give you the device list, the feeder, whatever. Don't need those. Just focus on configure VJoy for this. And when you click on it, give that a minute. What's going to happen is it should pop up a thing here. There we go. And it might be difficult to see, but basically, accesses by default are all going to be checked on, and you want to uncheck X and Y, and you want to uncheck enable force feedback, because all we're doing for VJoy is just emulating the accesses so the pedals will work with the game. Number buttons you can change also. I put mine to 128. The POVs is at 0, and the continuous switches. And then what you're gonna do is make sure the bottom left enable VJoy is all connected, and you're gonna press apply. Um, it may ask you to restart. I don't remember, but if so, then make sure you restart and then come back to this tutorial again. Um, Once your VJoy here is done, uh, you don't need to deal with that anymore. I believe you also don't need to relaunch it every single time. You're gonna start up SimHub next, and with SimHub, you're gonna have here by default they're going to be missing one add-on. So on the very bottom left, you're gonna have add in remove features, and you need to check in control mapper. Or you could put it show on the left menu. When you have that, it will say output mode, and just click on VJoy, and it's gonna send you all of this stuff. And all you have to do here last is make sure your source controllers, which is what you're gonna emulate. Um, in this case, the pedals is what I'm gonna have. Mine is unplugged right now, and the VJoy device, and you're gonna check mark those two things. Um, there are different output mappings you can find online, but we'll just use the default just to get this done quickly. And then once you go here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna click this drop down on the right under source controllers where your pedals are, and you're gonna click on map controller. When you click on the map controller, it's gonna be as simple as clicking on the axes, and then it's gonna ask you to press on that button, or in this case, the pedals. For some reason, on Snowrunners, it does not register the throttle y-axis. I have no idea. So I bound it to the handbrake in this case, which is like another thing on there. It doesn't really matter. All we're doing really is just to make sure that the game can read these inputs. That way we can just play the game. Once you're done with that, you can close that out. It will also run in the background. And now all we gotta do last is get on Snowrunners. And we click on that. Wait for that to launch. Just a reminder, I've only really set this up with wheels that are supported in the game, that already have force feedback. I don't know about any other ones like the sim cubes and all the other stuff. I only really know Moza and Thrustmaster, and of course Logitech should work. So we go in, and all you really have to do is go under your settings. Also, make sure your steering mode is on steering wheel. You can go to the steering wheel here. In this type, for me, you can change the type of wheel input. For me, is direct input, because I'm using the Moza wheel. And then you can have different steering presets, which will bind buttons already for you already. There is a custom one in which then you will need to. It will have way more stuff down here for you to bind. In this case, let's just get the pedals to work. So all you need to do now is just click on the throttle pedal and step on that, and it should read your axis. In this case, for me, it was RX. And then make sure you press and then the other one is just your brake pedal. For me, it shows as axis RY. It should register those two. If not, double check and make sure you've had everything installed and plugged in properly. And pretty much from there, the game should be working. You should have force feedback on your wheel, and you should also have your pedals working. Um, that's pretty much it. I do recommend that anyone who uses a sim rig, because these gear things are atrocious, I do recommend getting um the actual gearbox mod to work for you, and then what that will do is actually let you use your H shifters, which would be pretty sick. And then, but if we need a tutorial for that, I'm pretty sure there's one out there. Anyway, goodbye.